The city lights blurred into long neon streaks as Leo dashed through the deserted streets. The last bus, the 11:45 p.m., was his only hope of getting home tonight. He could see its hulking frame pulling away from the curb just a block ahead. With a final burst of energy, he sprinted, waving his arms frantically. The brakes hissed, and the doors sighed open. "Thank you," he gasped, climbing aboard, fumbling for his fare. The driver, a silhouette against the dim interior lights, simply nodded. As Leo caught his breath and found a seat, a strange stillness settled over him. He looked around. The bus was surprisingly full for this late hour, but it was unnervously quiet. No one was talking, no one was on their phone, no one was even rustling a newspaper. They just sat there, staring forward, their faces bathed in the ghostly glow of the passing streetlights. An older woman in a floral dress, a businessman with his briefcase on his lap, a young man with headphones who wasn't bobbing his head. It was like a collection of statues. Leo tried to shrug it off. Maybe everyone was just tired. He pulled out his phone to scroll through social media, but the silence felt heavy. It pressed in on him. He glanced at the man across the aisle. His eyes were wide, fixed on the back of the seat in front of him. His skin had a pale, waxy sheen. Leo's own reflection in the dark window looked back at him, wide-eyed. A chill that had nothing to do with the night air crept up his spine. The bus trundled on, leaving the familiar city streets behind and entering a long, dark stretch of road flanked by dense woods. The rhythmic bump and sway of the ride was the only sound. Leo's unease grew with every passing mile. He looked at the driver in the rearview mirror, but he couldn't make out any features. Just a dark shape at the wheel. He tried to tell himself he was being ridiculous, that he was just exhausted and letting his imagination run wild. Then, the bus hit a particularly deep pothole. The jolt was sharp enough to send a passenger's bag sliding into the aisle, but no one moved. Not a single person flinched or shifted in their seat. The bag lay there undisturbed. Leo's heart began to pound in his chest. This wasn't just tired. This was wrong. He focused on the woman in the floral dress again. Her head was tilted at a slightly unnatural angle, and her hands were perfectly still, folded in her lap. Too still. He decided he had to get off, now. He stood up, his legs feeling like jelly, and pressed the stop request button. Nothing happened. The light didn't flash, and the familiar chime didn't sound. He pressed it again, harder this time. Still nothing. "Excuse me," he called out to the driver, his voice a nervous croak. "I need to get off at the next stop." The driver didn't respond. The bus just kept moving, deeper into the darkness. Panic began to set in. Leo moved cautiously down the aisle, his eyes darting from one passenger to the next. Their faces were all the same, pale, vacant, and utterly motionless. He reached the front of the bus. "Sir, I need to get off," he said, his voice louder now, laced with desperation. He reached out and tapped the driver on the shoulder. The touch was like plunging his hand into a bucket of ice. The driver's form didn't yield. It was cold and solid. Under the dim light, Leo could finally see his face. His eyes were open, but they were milky and unfocused, staring into nothing. A faint, almost imperceptible smell, like old paper and dried flowers, filled the air. Leo stumbled back, his breath catching in his throat. He understood now. They weren't just still, they weren't just quiet. They were all gone. Every single person on this bus, including the driver, was no longer among the living, and he was trapped on this midnight ride with them, heading to a destination he didn't know and couldn't escape. The bus drove on, a silent, ghostly vessel navigating the endless night, with one living soul aboard, his heart hammering against his ribs like a trapped bird. The road ahead was dark, and for the first time in his life, Leo was truly afraid of where it was taking him. Where do you think the bus was going? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the shadows. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there.